I'm so excited to share products that I've used as supplemental resources to transform negative thinking. In the video, of course, I'm going to explain what these are, why they can be useful, how you can use them, and where you can get them. Now, if you naturally have automatic negative thoughts, what happens is that your brain has been so accustomed to thinking these negative thoughts, the neurotransmitters, literally the pathways in your brain, are more comfortable. They are designed to go to those automatic thoughts. Although you can't erase those pathways, you can create a new pathway. The way we can begin to create new pathways in your brain, new neurotransmitters that are just firing off in the more helpful way, is by practice, is by repetition. For example, sometimes I like to use working out and eating nutritious as an example for my clients. So let's say you have a 110-pound girl and she's never been to the gym, and she goes to where all the weights are, she sees the dumbbells, and she tries to lift a 30-pound dumbbell. She's trying to do a bicep curl. Do you think that she's going to go in that weight room and be able to lift that 30-pound dumbbell easily if she's only 110 pounds and never lifted a weight in her life? Of course not. That's just not possible, because you have to work your way up to lifting those types of weights. You have to train your body. And do you think you're going to get there with one workout? Of course not. No, this is something that takes time. Not only does it take time, not only does this take weeks, months, maybe even years, depending on your body, this is also something that can require a lifestyle change. You're not just eating a healthy dinner, or you're not just eating a healthy meal right after you work out. No, you're probably paying attention to nutritious food going in your body throughout the day, right? This is breakfast, this is lunch, this could be a snack, this is dinner. Same thing with exercise. If you're trying to lift 30-pound dumbbells, you're a 110-pound girl, you're probably going to need to go to the gym more than once or twice a week. So it's the same idea when you're trying to transform your negative thoughts into more helpful thoughts that make you feel better and can help you take actions going towards the things that matter most to you in your life. As I mentioned, all of these products are things that I have used in the past, or some of them I currently use today, depending on what my focus was. So you'll see that as I share the products. These first 3 products I'm going to show you, they work in similar ways. The focus is just on a slightly different topic. So back when I was really struggling financially, I had a very difficult time thinking positive about finances and just security in general. In addition to the own inner work that I did, I had purchased these cards, and basically these cards were my daily reminder. So for example, every card, at least in this deck, is basically reminding you about good feeling thoughts towards money or towards finances. Now, I work remotely, but even before I worked remote, I was in an office. Now, the way I use them is basically I'd pick the card for the day, and each card has a little saying in the front and in the back. And throughout the whole day, I would just leave this card outside of my computer as a reminder. So when my thoughts were going to places that weren't so good about my finances, I just used this as a reminder, and that helped me stay back on track. Don't be put off by these cards. I'm going to explain a little bit more. But what I have found really when studying counseling psychology and really working with clients is that there are a lot of similarities between the law of attraction and CBT, which is in counseling, we call that cognitive behavioral therapy. Maybe this can be another video. So I'm not trying to push like the woo-woo-woo stuff in here if that's not something that you are interested in. But what I have found is that these cards, when it comes to money, finances, security, had still helped me during a time that I needed to produce better feeling thoughts about money. And this is the CBT deck. So basically CBT, if you don't already know, it stands for cognitive behavioral therapy. This is a common technique that therapists use, and the reason why they use it is because it's evidence-based, meaning there's been tons and tons of research that if therapists use CBT with clients who are struggling with particular areas in their life, that if you use this correctly, research shows that it often produces positive outcomes. Again, why I like this deck and why I say it's so similar to law of attraction in many ways is this deck is divided into 3 piles. So the deck helps you with what you think, with being, and also act for actions. And you can use these as the same as the other deck. So for example, you can pick out of the deck, and with this one, this is the think card. So this is gonna help you with your thoughts. So on the back, it says, shifting your comparison. Notice today when you're comparing yourself unfavorably to others' good fortune or success. These comparisons are often painful and trigger feelings of envy and inadequacy. Then expand the frame. Who is worse off than you? What do you have or what have you accomplished that others might admire or even envy? What happens emotionally when you make this mental shift? So for me, I'd pull the card for the day and I would leave it in front of my computer screen, since I would be at work or I'm in front of the computer screen most of the time, and these are when most of my negative thoughts come up. This serves as a good reminder, just again, right there in front of my desktop screen. I could just do a quick glance, read my card, and then think about those questions for a moment. I kind of don't like coming from the envy place, but nevertheless, it gets you thinking like, well, what do I have that someone might like? And then similarly, I have another deck that I'm currently using because one of my personal goals right now is to work more on my intuition. So not necessarily following my very analytical thoughts, but trying to listen more to the inner voice type of thoughts. So I just pick a card. It has a nice little message. I would just go to the book and then I would read the message for that card. So I shared the card decks as you could just kind of use as a daily reminder, keeping it somewhere where it's visible all day. This next product is probably not a surprise to you, but I would say the way I have used this product has been the most transformational in my thought patterns, and that is daily journaling. I know I've talked about one of these journaling methods in another video, I think here, but the way I use it is kind of going back to our 110 pounder who wants to lift 30-pound dumbbells, right? You have to practice, it's repetition. So what I do for journaling is that most days of the week, meaning at least 4 or more days of the week, I journal 2 times. I journal in the morning, anywhere from 2 to 20 minutes. I journal about things that I'm grateful for in my life, and I elaborate on that grateful feeling. So for example, if one of the things I'm grateful for that morning is a warm cup of coffee with cinnamon in it, I talk about why I'm grateful for that. I talk about how it makes me feel good, how it makes me feel rich. I think, years ago only rich people could have like coffee and tea, but here I am, and I'm so lucky enough to, have an amazing coffee pot that turns on when I don't even need to be there. So what that is doing is just training my brain to constantly look for the things that I am grateful for in my life. And then at the end of the day, so either right before I go to bed or about 30 minutes before I go to bed, I then journal again and I write about all the things I went well. And I talked a little bit about positive effect journaling in this video here. But again, the same idea is you are training your brain to focus on the good feeling things, the good feeling thoughts that you had during the day. So with positive effect journaling, I might say, wow, today was an amazing day. Everyone was super friendly. Or I might write about a client success story. I'm so happy that the client talked about XYZ when in the beginning he would originally cry when we talk about it. So right before bed, it's really important that those last thoughts are focusing on better feeling thoughts. Next product, so this book, Soul Therapy, I really like it. Another therapist published this. And what it is, it's basically a book with various types of journal prompts. Let me just read to you one that I really like. We tend to overestimate the qualities we dislike about ourselves and underestimate the qualities we like about ourselves. How can you become more loving to yourself? So this journal prompt is really helping you become more aware, finding your own solutions on how you can become more loving to yourself. So that is Soul Therapy. And this last product you probably already have, so you won't have to buy one, but I am gonna share with you how you can use it so that you can help reframe your negative thoughts. It is your phone. Depending on certain situations in my life, I would set a digital reminder for myself. But I also share this with my clients as well, depending on their circumstance and how they work best. Now you can pair the digital reminder up with either the book or the card, right? Maybe you are not working at a desk the whole day, so it's kind of difficult for you to have a card by your computer screen. So maybe you answer the journal prompt on how you can be more loving to yourself. So what you could do, depending on your answers, you can set a digital reminder in your phone, let's say at noontime or 3 p.m. or whatever time of the day, you know those negative thoughts start to creep up or you're starting to feel really tired. So if one way you find to be loving to yourself is to say positive self statements, then put that actual self statement in your phone as a digital reminder. Because of course our day is so hectic, sometimes we forget to be loving to ourselves, and a reminder can just break whatever it is you're doing up at that moment and remind you, hey, it's time to acknowledge yourself. It's time to love yourself right now. Go to the mirror and say those self statements, or repeat those self statements at your desk or wherever you are during the day in that moment. I have some links down below if anybody wants to check out any of these products in more depth. If you do purchase any of these products and you find them to be useful, let us know in the comments below, or maybe you're using them in another way that could be more helpful to somebody else. Share that in the comment below so that you can also be of service to somebody else as well. See you in the next post, guys. Bye.